Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's Canvas Workspace tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a template that will help you if you're going to be creating paper crafting projects over and over again. We will create some shapes, and then I'll make my template available to you that's fully completed to save you a lot of time. Okay, we're going to be creating the shapes for the template. We're going to be saving the file, transferring the file to our machine, and then I'm going to show you that if you download the file I provide for you, the SVG file, that you can just import it and go from there. Okay, so that way you won't have to start from scratch. But of course, the template you create is going to be unique to your paper crafting needs. So I'm using the installed version of Brother Canvas Workspace, and I'm just going to go to the About section in the Help menu. So you can see that I'm using version 2.4.0. And you can go to support.brother.com, that will be linked in the description of this video, to download the exact version of software I'm using so that you can follow along. So let's just start with the shapes. Get a shape. And I'm going to get a square shape. Now I'm naming this tutorial, or somewhere in the name of this tutorial will be mini pizza boxes, because I'm going to be mainly using this particular template for decorating my mini pizza boxes with designer series paper. And I will be showing you visual examples of this. It'll all make sense as the tutorial goes on. So the first thing I want to do is make a specific square to cover the top of the box. So I put a square on the mat, and then I go over here to the Edit panel. These are the panels on the right side. I'm going to make sure Maintain Aspect Ratio is checked off. And I'm going to make the width 3.45 inches. And when I do that, the height will change as well. Okay, I want to move it a little bit away from the red line, because when you try to transfer something and the shape is on the red line, it may tell you that you're outside the cutting area. Okay, now I want to duplicate that, so I'm just going to right click and duplicate. Now I have to have another, so for the outside of the pizza box I need a shape, and then on the inside lid and on the bottom of the box I also need a shape. Those two shapes are 3.4 inches. Just slightly smaller, in other words, because I don't have as much room. Now I made it 3.4 inches. I'm going to duplicate that shape. Now I tend to put these shapes over on the side of my mat because sometimes I'm cutting 6x6 papers, and I try to, so that way I can make this turn into a 6x6 template easy later as well. Now I want to make some little sides for my pizza box. And to make that, it's going to be, I'm going to uncheck Maintain Aspect Ratio. And I want those to be 3.45. And they're going to be by 1 inch. Okay? And I need two of those. Duplicate. And I'm going to put those right here. Okay? And then I want to do two more. Okay? So I want to make two more. So I could just take one of these, duplicate it, and what I'm doing is right-clicking, okay? Right-clicking to duplicate. You can also click on it and go to the Layer menu and duplicate. So now I've duplicated twice, and what I want to do is rotate the object, okay? I just held my Shift key and I rotated, and that, what it did is it rotated at a 90-degree angle for me. All right, so there's a lot more I can do to this. I'm going to just select these objects here. I'm going to align them to the bottom. I'll select those, align them to the left. All right, I have the framework of my template. I have everything I need to decorate the mini pizza box. I have the top lid. I have the 4 sides. Why do I make them go in different directions? Because the patterns on my designer series paper sometimes look better vertically and sometimes look better horizontally. So I always like to have a lot of options when I cut them. Again, I will show you visual examples. Okay, I have the outside, I have the inside. Now I need some Hershey nugget wrappers. I could take this shape, duplicate it, make these 3.25. That's my Hershey nugget wrappers by 1 inch. I like to wrap my, and duplicate it again, wrap my candy. And those fit right here. And I could go on and on like this. What I do is I typically have, let me just go ahead and put those there. I typically have a card base whenever I'm making a 12 by 12 template, a card layer, so that I always have lots of card layers to use. It's really my secret for how I get so many things done in crafting is just because I cut out so much paper at once. Okay, so I started with a square. I'll make that one 5.25 by 4 inches. I know I'm going fast here, but making a shape is the same. You just do it over and over again and keep changing the sizes. I want to just stop here and now show you my completed template that I'm going to provide for you, because then I'll point out what the different elements are. But as you can see, as it stands now, if I were to take a piece of 6 by 6 paper and put it on my mat, I could actually cut all these out in the different 6 by 6 shapes, and I'd be golden. But in this particular template, I'm using 12 by 12 designer series paper. That means I was able to fill in this whole area of all over, and I was able to overlap this middle section, making it really efficient. And whenever I was done with all the rectangles, I added some circles. But I wanted to teach you how to save your template. So it says untitled right now. So you're going to go ahead and save as, go up to File, Save As. And, okay, I already have one called Mini Pizza Boxes. So, I mean, just call it Practice Template, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so let me talk about file types. Right now, the file type we're using is called the extension, I should say. You know, the CWPRJ extension. And that means that I'm working with a Canvas Workspace project file. Okay, you can't cut this file right now the way it is on your machine. You can't, because it's proprietary. It works inside Canvas Workspace. So to get this onto my machine, okay, you would have to say File, okay, and you would say Export, Transfer, and FCM file. Okay, FCM file is a cutting file for your brother machine. Okay, Transfer FCM file. And I'm going to do it via the internet, but you can, of course, if you want, you can transfer your FCM file you could transfer it directly to your machine, to this computer, and then save it later, transfer it later, maybe on a thumb drive, or you can transfer it on a USB cable. Okay, but either way, it's an FCM file. I can't really go ahead and share an FCM file. Like I can't really put that on my website because it's kind of an unknown file type. Okay, but so something that's a file type that every machine can understand. All the cutting files, Inkspace design program, Adobe Illustrator, Canvas Workspace, you name it. The kind of file that I can share on the internet with you, which would just be these shapes, would be an SVG file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let me just start out by saying, let me close this. Not close, I'm just going to say no. Okay, I'm going to say no. So what I'm going to be giving you for this, the little goodie that you can download to save you time is an SVG file. So what you're going to do after you download that file and save it to your computer, you're going to go to SVG, okay, import from your computer, and you're going to, this just happens to be the icon I'm using for the SVG. Okay, you're going to click on the file they give you, and it's an SVG file, and you're going to open it, and there's the template. Okay, so there's the red are the cutting lines, and this is what my template looks like. Okay, and it turned red when I converted it, but my actual file was, when I created the lines, they were black, but when I converted it to an SVG, they did turn red, but that's no problem for you. You're going to open this, and if you want to cut it just as I did, because you're going to see all the projects I made with this file, you can just go ahead and transfer it to your machine. Okay, transfer the file, export, transfer FCM file. Because by importing the SVG file, this file here, to your Canvas Workspace, you automatically got the file type the brother needs to cut on the machine with. Okay, so I hope you understand that you'll be able to download this file. Okay, let me just open the one that I actually created using the software. I'm not going to save that one. And this is the one I actually created in Canvas Workspace. It had black lines, but like I said, I used a converter to get it into a format that I could share. Okay, so let me just go over this with you, my template, because you're going to, If you want to know anything about the template, you're going to click on any of the shapes that I have here, and you're just going to go over and look at in the edit area, the widths I used, the different things I used, right? This is a bookmark here. I'll show you how I would put that on a bookmark. This, I will show you a couple card bases where I created cards from this shape here. I'll show you how I decorated nugget wrappers with this shape, how I used these two shapes to decorate or to outline some of the sentiments for my projects. Okay, and then I can even show you this shape here, how I used it on a tag tree. So pretty much the only shape I think I didn't use today, maybe this one here, or I didn't use recently, but I had to fill in this little area, so I made myself an extra little rectangle. Okay, so this I hope becomes clear as I now take you over to my machine. Okay, we've already transferred this file. In fact, I'll just transfer this particular file again instead of the one we created earlier. Because remember, a minute ago, we created the practice template, but I really want to show you the one I actually cut out. So in other words, I'm going to open this project file. And if it's confusing at all, believe me, I have lots and lots of courses that delve way deeper into using this Canvas Workspace software. And then there are current coupons and there's a current sale on my courses. So I will have those linked in the description as well. All right, so, and even if it's not near the time of Black Friday and you're watching this tutorial months later, just click on my website because there's always links to my courses. All right, so I am opening up the full completed template. I'm going to now transfer that one. So File, Export, Transfer, FCM File, Transfer FCM File via the internet. And now I will see you at my machine where we will retrieve the file, cut the file. I'll show you how to cut the file, and then you can see all the projects I made using these shapes. Thank you. In this section of the video, I will show you how to retrieve the template we created in Canvas Workspace. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do, like I always do, is just cut up my whole pack of paper. But I saved some full sheets to show you because it is really cute. It's called Trimming the Town Designer Series Paper by Stampin' Up. Okay, this is a holiday catalog paper. Available now. And I'm just going to show you both sides of this paper. So I just thought it was great for decorating mini pizza boxes. The coordinating colors, this is Misty Moonlight. We also have in this one Early Espresso. You can see the little bits of espresso. This is Old Olive. A lot of old olive trees on there. This is Poppy Parade. Okay, another coordinating color is Pool Party. And of course Whisper White. And then this one has lots of languages on it. Now I didn't get the coordinating dies and stamp set. All I bought for this, with this suite, or in this suite, is the designer series paper and some little trimming, some little embellishments that went along with it. Okay, they're called the trimming, or all the trimmings, let me focus that in. All the trimmings embellishments that match. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and load a piece on here. We'll load this piece on there. And I'm going to retrieve the file. Then I'm going to go and cut a bunch of these. And when I come back at the end, I will show you projects you can create. So I just go ahead and all I did was just load that onto my mat. I just keep my mat loaded too. It's another time-saving trick, is to leave your designer series paper, and leave your mat loaded and just keep changing up your designer series paper, and you can get the whole pack cut pretty quickly. So I cut half the pack and I said, oh, I want to show my crafty friends this, this package of paper before I finish cutting it up. All right, so let's do this. I've already retrieved the file earlier, but let me go ahead and I want you to know what you would see when you turn on your machine, in case you're not familiar with retrieving a file. So I'm turning on, this is the STX 125. It doesn't matter. The file I'm giving you works with any machine. The file you create in Canvas Workspace can be transferred to any machine. This is just the machine I happen to be using. So when you turn on your machine, you see Pattern and Scan. We're going to go to Retrieve Data. Okay? It may look a little different on the CM model. You might see a little cloud up here to retrieve the data from. And I've shown that on other tutorials, which I'll link to in the description when I get a chance. So go to Retrieve Data. You're going to retrieve the template we created in Canvas Workspace. We sent it via the internet. Remember, we said transfer FCM file via the internet. So we're going to retrieve that FCM file with this button here. But if you transferred it another way with the USB stick or the computer USB cable, or if you just saved it to your machine, which I'll show you how to do, you can just retrieve it that way. But for now, let's go ahead and get it from Canvas Workspace. So there's the file, okay? So now we don't need to do any settings. I don't need to change pressure or anything because I have an Autoblade technology. I mean, I don't have to change the blade depth. It just uses the blade. It's an Autoblade, so this is the Autoblade. But if you have a CM model and you're cutting designer series paper, I recommend a blade depth of 3. Click OK, and you're going to just click on Cut. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and speed 5. Let me see. I'm going to make sure my settings are default. Yeah, they're all default because I was doing something else earlier. So I'm just going to leave everything the same, and I'm going to click Start, okay? And I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to come back later and just show you the result. Now, let's just go back though. So say you want to take this and you don't feel like going back to your Canvas Workspace every time. You just want to save it to the machine and be done with it. So click on Save and save this to your machine. I might need to make room, yes. You might not have that. I'm just going to delete something else. I'm just trashing something. Okay, let's go back to that. Okay, let's go back to here. I had to make room for that. I don't want to confuse you. So you retrieved your file, right? You retrieved your file, but you don't want to have to keep going back to Canvas Workspace and retrieving it every time, especially if you're going to be working on multiple files. If this is a template you think you'll use a lot, which I absolutely use a lot. I use this template probably 500 times a year. I mean, that's how many of these little boxes I make. I mean, it's ridiculous. And well, they're really cheap and easy to decorate, and they're just beautiful. So anyway, if you're going to use this template over and over and over again, then you want to save it to your machine. Okay, so click on Save, and you're going to go to your machine and save it to your machine. Okay, and that way it's the same thing as saving it to on a USB stick as well, but it's just that way you have an easier access to it. Okay, well anyway, let me go back and I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of my pack up, and I will see you in a little while. I'm going to click Start, where I will retrieve this. I will finish showing you what it looks like with all these pieces cut out and how you can use these to decorate your projects. Thank you. Now I've cut out several pages, and now that I have, I just wanted to show you what the paper looks like and what you can do with it. And then it'll become clear why we created a template and how much time it's going to save you. So when you're all done, you're just going to unload the mat. It would actually have said finished cutting, okay, unload the mat. I left the mat loaded just for that purpose, just to now show you this. So here's the last piece of paper I cut. It has the little people. So now I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to remove. So you can either save this and do some of my die cutting tricks with these scraps. I have some cool die cutting tricks. Yeah, I might save these and show it another time. But for now, this is the template that we're working with. So we're going to focus on this piece here. I'm going to show you the pizza boxes as they come in the box, and then I'll show you the rest of some shapes and what you can do with them, the rest of the shapes. All right, so mini pizza boxes. If you're watching this on November 24th, it's our 24-hour sale at Stampin' Up. And these are like a great bargain anyway. They're only $5 for 8 of them, and it's called Mini Pizza Box. I'll have the link in the description of this video. So like I said, I make hundreds of these a year. I mean, actually hundreds and hundreds of these kinds of things, and I'm using my templates all the time for it. So what you do is you take out, these are food safe pizza boxes, and a lot of times I make them for people's parties, party favors, you know, like a birthday party. They're going to put a cookie inside. I don't always decorate the inside myself. I mean, not the inside. I don't always fill it myself. I always decorate the inside, but I don't always fill the boxes. Sometimes the people I make them for fill the boxes. All right, so there, you do that. You just kind of fold. Okay, now you can go ahead and, if you want to try to make pizza boxes yourself, I mean, there are SVGs for that. I have die cuts for that, but I've never found a better way than the quality we sell at Stampin' Up. And for the price and the time you save, and these are cardboard, I mean, unless you're into like hardcore manufacturing, you're not going to be able to do as good of a job. So I just say it's not very expensive, and you can get these great pizza boxes. Okay, so various stages of completion, like that's how you set it up before you start decorating it. Here's one where I only put the top on. I only put the sides on because that's why I cut all the paper. Because I'm like, oh, I'll put this one on, like I mix it up. Okay, so now we take this piece from the top left of the corner, the top left corner of the mat, and that's our biggest piece, and that's the one we're going to put right there. on top of the box. That's the one that's 3.45 inches. And you just do that with some, I'm just going to use Snail adhesive, or no, Seal. It's not called Snail anymore. It's called Seal Plus. It's just some rolling adhesive. And it works pretty fast. I like to get it sort of toward the edges so it doesn't peel off. Okay, so there we go. And I always tell you, I'm always mass producing. So I did all my stamping, I did all my die cutting for my shapes and sentiments, and I'm doing all my ScanNCut work with all this designer series paper. Okay, so that's what you would do. So that's how you decorate. Now you would take, these are your sides, and now you can see why I've made them going different ways, because like for example, that would go cute on the side, but I put that on the side of a different box because I like to mix it up. So I might put that one on the side of that box. Okay, so you take these off the mat. These are your sides of your pizza box. And then remember I told you I created them different ways. So these will be the vertical ones. Now these are good for nugget wrappers, but these are the longer ones I use for the side. But see how they're not going to look right on the pizza box in that direction. But that's why we have double-sided paper, so we can use that side. Okay, so that's what you do. You put maybe opposite sides, so something like that. Okay, now you take your smaller. Okay, so we're just working through the template. I showed you how to take the four, that was the 4 wrappers. Okay, now this is part of the template, this one, and this one here, right? I'm going to try to tilt my camera a bit, so I hope I'm not making you too dizzy. That would be a little better. Okay, these 2 pieces are for the insides. They fit exactly. These are the 3.44 inch squares. But of course you just put that on the outside, so you wouldn't put that on the inside. Maybe use that, and that will fit in there. Okay, so that's how you decorate your pizza boxes. These are good for layering your sentiments. Okay, this one here is your cards. This is your card bases. So you have it ready to go, right? And I'll show you what I did with those. This one here is a nugget wrapper. It's not a nugget wrapper, a tag sheet wrapper. So you're going to fold it and score it. I'll give you the measurements. Actually, I've done it on my channel many times, but it will still give you the measurements in this. It's going to be something like that. Okay, and then this one here is a bookmark. And I would use that side, so that's a bookmark. These all here, all these 4. These 4 are Hershey nugget wrappers, and I use those. So I use these in this tutorial. And then these are the only shapes I'm left with, but they did fill up cutting out the 12 by 12. So these are just going to be great for layering for cards. They're the same length of my card bases. So if I want to put little accents, see, these are perfect. Little accents for my cards, which I'll probably be doing. Same with this. These are just, when you have extra room, you just make extra shapes. So you can do a lot with those by layering them up on your different pieces. Now, oh, this was these were wider ones. I had done some that were 1/8 inch wider as well. So bottom line, that's the Oh Happy Day. We have a template. We just have a couple shapes left over. All right, so now I want to show you my pizza boxes fully decorated and what's inside them, and then I'll show you some made from other designer series paper, because as I keep telling you, I'm doing this all the time with different designer series paper. So we already showed you this. I'm going to open these all up and give you some gift ideas. So I hope you're watching this on the 24th and you can get these on sale. 10% off everything in our annual catalog. Now this paper is not in our annual. This paper is a holiday catalog paper, but these mini pizza boxes and a lot of like this olive ribbon is part of the ornate garden suite, and some of the other suites I'll show you are in the annual catalog. But just go ahead and just search around. If it's on sale, it'll say 10% off right on the page. It's our Black Friday sale, but we're having it on a Tuesday. All right, so let's open up each of these boxes. And I just did some die cutting with them. This is Poppy Parade twine I had from a different suite. I'm just going to go around and show you all these. Okay, all done with the ScanNCut. All these pieces perfectly cut out. Okay, Hershey nugget wrappers wrapped. You saw how I wrapped them. Had all the pieces perfectly cut out. And that cute designer series paper in the box. Mini Tic Tacs on sale on my thepaperchef.com. I do have some mini Tic Tac kits on sale. Peace on Earth. And a little something for you is all done in the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. Because as I mentioned earlier, I didn't get the entire Trimming the Town suite. We do have a suite. We have dies. We have stamps. I didn't get that because I have so many stamps already for Christmas. And so I'm using whatever stamps I have, which is Wrapped in Christmas. A beautiful holiday catalog Christmas set. That's where I got the little something for you and Peace on Earth. And just some dies I had. Okay, just moving along. I'm opening up all these little pizza boxes for you. This one has the aloe hand sanitizer and some Burt's Bees lip balm and a Hershey nugget. And again, the inside of the box is decorated. And I didn't want to put anything over that little house in the background. I thought that looked good the way it was. And again, that's what I use those circles for, the outer circle. Now the inside circle is a stitch die, and this is a die, but the outer circle, sometimes like that outer circle, scan and cut, part of my template. Okay, another one, Peace on Earth. Again, written in many languages. This paper is really nice. More hand sanitizer, a little something for you, a candy cane, mini Ghirardellis, Purell hand sanitizer. I'm always getting hand sanitizer. There's usually limits at the store, like one at a time. So I've been trying to gather them as I see them. And some cute little lip balm. Okay. Whatever, if I did get stuff online, I'll try to link to it later. This is Misty Moonlight twine I had. And that was Poppy Parade twine I had. A little something for you. Godiva Pearls, dark chocolate. It's a nice little chocolate tin. And you can also put, what else fits in here is Altoids, full Tic Tacs. And not just the mini Tic Tacs, but I like to fill up things with mini Tic Tacs. And more lip balm, Peace on Earth, little something for you. Trimming the Town, little Trimming the Town elements, okay? And another one I decorated, more lip balm, Burt's Bees lip balm, mini Ghirardellis, ginger tea, Tic Tacs, and again those Hershey Nugget wrappers. This time of year is when I do all my Hershey Nugget wrappers. So at the other times of year when they'd melt, if I'm going to send Hershey Nuggets, I would do the same template, but I would make more bookmarks, and I would take away the Hershey wrappers and do something else with that template. Okay, so now you got ideas for what to put in your boxes. But I'm not done. I have loads of other boxes. I'm not going to open all these up, but I just want to show you that you can make them with Ornate Garden on sale right now. 10% off the whole Ornate Garden suite of products, because this is an annual catalog. Ornate Garden is an annual catalog, and Ornate Thanks is an annual catalog stamp set. So this is just other ways you can decorate these mini pizza boxes. That embossing folder is in our annual catalog. So I'm just always decorating them. I colored this with Stampin' Blends. Okay. Here's another one with a stitch die. These are called Gilded Gold Gems. And that is, again, Ornate Garden, annual catalog. Okay, and then I have a couple that I recently showed in one of my Paper Pumpkin tutorials. These are ones I decorated with some holiday catalog items and some Paper Pumpkin items. Okay, so again, I still use my ScanNCut to cut out the pieces though. And here's one I've had for a while. And it's, this is probably retired. Yeah, all this paper's retired. The stamp set might not be Euro Classic. Might not be, but the paper is. I don't think there's anything inside this one, no. This designer shows paper is retired, but it's a good Father's Day thing. So just ideas of how to decorate those mini pizza boxes. All right, so now I talked about this shapes in the template, and we talked about this shape here and how you can use it for your bookmarks. So I don't think I made any Trimming in the Town bookmarks, right? Like with this paper, but I will. So instead, I did grab some with another paper, with other papers, just to show you that this is a typical, piece 1.75 wide. Let me make sure this is in focus. And so a typical piece that I would have cut out. So when I'm making my bookmarks, and I punch the top off using the fancy tag topper punch or another punch, and I have bookmarks ready to decorate, ready to go, because I have those precise pieces I need, 1.75 by 5.5, and these are bookmarks ready to go. This happens to be Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. This happens to be Dandy Garden Designer Series paper. But I'm just showing you that it's the kind of bookmark design that if you have a bookmark or tag, you can use that design over and over again. Okay, with this tag treat, don't worry that this color's not going to match. I just wanted to show you something. This is one that I made with the fancy tag topper punch. And remember that piece, part of your template, it would go like this. Of course, I wouldn't use these two colors together. This is Coastal Cabana. It's not one of the colors in this suite, but it's just something I had to show you visually. That's how you would use that piece for your template to make tag treats. Okay, speaking of tag treats, I did make some with the with the Dandy Garden suite. And these are things I put in with customer prizes and things like that, because I do a drawing each month. So if you do shop at my store, use my link and be sure to use the host code because you'll be part of the drawing. All right, finally, I mentioned these card bases and I said, this is great to have in your template. You can make easy cards. And here's a couple easy cards I made by having those card backgrounds already cut out for me. And then I did some die cutting with some curvy dies and scan and cut work with, this is the gnome for the holidays, is using this scan and cut to cut out the stamped images. Okay. I have a punch to cut out the moose for this one, but you could have also used the scan and cut to cut out the moose in the Merry Moose stamp set. So these two cards feature the 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper and the card bases I cut out from the template, but I did combine that with some other things like some curvy dies and some stamped images I cut out using the Brothers Scan and Cut. Okay, so I hope you have many ideas now of what you can do with these reusable templates after you make them and cut up your whole pack of Designer Series paper all at once and then do some decorating, and it'll make your life way, way easier as you can use the templates over and over again. So thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef.